Okay, I hope you can hear me through the rain, but I really want to share with you something that stood out to me this morning and helped me tremendously, and it's found in Matthew 14. This is after Jesus had fed the 5,000, and I know most of you know that story. He multiplied the fish and the bread and fed over 5,000 people. And then Jesus told the disciples to go across the Sea of Galilee, and he was going to stay there and pray. And then it says in verse 23, and when he had sent the multitudes away, he went up to the mountain to pray, and when evening was come, he was there alone. But the ship with the disciples was now in the midst of the sea, tossed with the waves, and the wind was contrary. And in the fourth watch of the night, Jesus went unto them, walking on the sea. And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled, saying, It is a spirit. And they cried out for fear. But straightway Jesus spoke unto them, saying, Be of good cheer, it is I, be not afraid. And Peter said, Lord, if it's really you, bid me to come out on the water. And Jesus said, Come. And when Peter was come down out of the ship, he walked on the water to go to Jesus. Big miracle there. But when he saw the wind, when Peter looked around and he saw the wind boisterous, he was afraid and began to sink and cried, saying, Lord, save me. And immediately Jesus stretched forth his hand and caught him and said unto him, O you of little faith, wherefore did you doubt? And then they were coming to the ship, and the wind ceased. But really what caught me, and I've heard people say this before, but it struck me in a little bit different way this morning, is when Peter, he stepped out in faith, and he walked on water to Jesus. But then he looked out at all of this storm and the wind and the waves roaring about him. He looked at the circumstance and he started fearing. And he got his eyes off of Jesus. And when then Jesus stretched forth his hand and took him. And took him back into safety. That I think what really struck me this morning is I know in myself, sometimes I look at the circumstances and I look at the wind and the waves around me, the horrible circumstances, and I try to figure things out on my own. I try, okay, how can I do this, or what can I do to fix this? And I want to go out and fix things. I'm a fixer. And there's circumstances that are out of my expertise. They're out of my realm of fixing. They're out of my control. And when I keep my eyes on the Lord, I have peace. There's a calm during the storm. The storm's still going on around me. And this storm was still going on around Peter when he stepped out of the boat. The storm's still going on. The wind is still raging. The waters are still just crazy. But he walked on the water to Jesus. As long as he was looking at him, as long as he fixed his vision, his focus was on Jesus, he had faith. When we take our eyes off of Jesus, we sink in our circumstances. I know that kind of seems a little cliche, but man, did it help me this morning. It was like God said to me, look at me. Keep your focus on me. Your battle is not yours, it is mine, and I'm going to take care of it. And when I keep my eyes, the storm may still be going on, but when I keep my eyes on Jesus, the circumstances don't overwhelm me. Looking unto Jesus keeps us on course with God. And the secret to victorious living is to keep our spiritual eyes focused on Jesus. So amidst your trials, amidst your circumstances, amidst the craziness that sometimes goes on in our head, we have thoughts that, of defeat. Fix your eyes in the right direction. And during that time, see how much faith rises up in you. See how much assurance and peace and calm that you have. And in comparison to the times where you're focusing on that problem so deeply to where it stirs up anger or bitterness or strife within you. Focus your eyes on the Lord. I promise you there'll be peace amid the circumstances. And then it allows our faith to rise up and allows God to work on those circumstances for us. Keep your eyes on Jesus and let that faith arise within you.